Goedemiddag en welkom naar mijn YouTube kanaal. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. The thing about myself, my name's Nathaniel. I'm born in the UK, in England, raised here, live here. But my family is Dutch, so I've been raised with a lot of Dutch culture. Growing up, it was kind of 50-50 when we were really little, speaking English and Dutch. Most of my family are Dutch. However, as I started to get older, I was never really taught Dutch. Dutch wasn't really spoken at home anymore, apart from on the phone, when my dad was ringing my grandparents. So it's something I was very, very familiar with, but I never really got taught it properly. So if I go over a lot of the time, I can understand what people are trying to say to me, but I struggle to reply. I've done a few tests and stuff online. My Dutch level seems to be between A1, A2 kind of level, so still on the beginner side of things. So the whole point of this channel basically is to document my journey to learn Dutch, basically. I'd like to ideally be able to get to B1. That is kind of like my goal for now, and then see where I go after that. I recently got back from a trip to Holland. It was actually a trip to Holland and to Spain because my grandma's Spanish, but that's a whole different story. But when I was out there, I was talking to my auntie being Dutch, and she uses ChatGPT for learning Spanish, and she says to me, "Oh, I use this all the time. Have you ever thought about using it for learning Dutch?" And I thought, well, no, I've never actually thought about that before. I gave it a try. I wasn't really expecting anything from it. I thought it's worth a try, but I assume it's just going to be like all these other apps that, you know, are free and you try them and they're okay, you know. If you're going away somewhere on holiday for a few days and you just want to learn a few words, you know, please, thank you, yes, no, etc., then it's great. And I assumed it would just be like that. So I thought, well, I'll give it a go. And you know what? I was really, really surprised. I thought it was going to be, well, like I said, but it was really good. I told it, my interests in learning Dutch, my background in Dutch. It was something quite personal for me, and I told it my level in Dutch. So I asked it to. I started off by asking it to create me a short story of A1 level, and it did that. And I could read the whole thing, and then it started asking me questions, and if I wasn't quite sure on something, like a certain word that perhaps it used, it would give me a really good explanation for that. And it was just, it's been really, really good. I've been using it since. I've only been using it for just under a week now. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it if it was something that you wanted to give a go. Perhaps, you know, like myself, you've got a lot on, you can't really afford to pay for lessons. Also, the other thing with lessons is obviously you have to book a slot, otherwise it's just not going to work. It can't just be a free-for-all, which completely, you know, is fair. But at the same time, if you're like me, you've got a busy schedule, it's very hard for me to say, yes, okay, I'm going to be available at that time next week. I can't really make that kind of commitment because my schedule's all over the place. I don't know what my schedule's going to be like this time next week. So this really, it really helps you in that sense because you can just do it whenever you have a spare half an hour, or however long it is you want to spend on it. You can do that, and it is great. It's like having a teacher there. I know that kind of probably sucks for people out there that are actually teachers and actually, do it for a job. I really wish that I could, support someone in that role. It's just not an option for me at the moment. But there is a way out there for me to learn a language, and so I want to give it a go. Like I said, I've been doing it for just under a week. I'll see how it goes. So here's where we started off with. This is the story that I asked it to create. And I'll just read through that now. So, de dag van Anna. Anna is een vrouw. Ze is 30 jaar oud. Anna woont in Gorinchem. Ze woont in een klein huis met haar kat. Haar kat heet Minus. I think that's how you say it, I'm not sure. Elke dag staat Anna om 7 uur op. Ze eet brood met kaas. Ze drinkt koffie. En dan gaat ze naar haar werk. Ze werkt in een winkel. De winkel is in het centrum. Anna neemt de fiets. Het is 10 minuten fietsen. In de winkel verkoopt zij bloemen. Ze zegt goedemorgen tegen de klanten. Ze lacht veel. Anna vindt haar werk leuk. Om 6 uur is de winkel dicht. Anna gaat naar huis. Ze kookt pasta met groenten. Daarna kijkt zij televisie. Minus ligt op de bank. Anna leest een boek en drinkt thee. Om 10 uur gaat Anna naar bed. Ze is moe, maar blij. Morgen is er weer een nieuwe dag. So, I'm going to attempt to translate that into English. Anna is a woman. She's 30 years old, and Anna lives in Gorinchem. She lives in a small house with her cat, and her cat is called Minus. I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not sure. Every day, Anna gets up at 7 in the morning. She eats bread with cheese, or cheese sandwich I suppose, and she drinks coffee. Then she goes to her work. She works in a shop, and the shop is in the centre of the town or the city. She takes her bike, she rides her bike there. It's about a 10-minute bike ride. In the shop, she sells flowers. She said good morning to the customers, and she laughs a lot. Anna likes her work. At 6 o'clock, the shop is closed, or shop shuts, and she goes home. She cooks pasta with greens or vegetables. After that, she watches television, and her cat, Minus, lays on the sofa. Anna reads a book and drinks tea. And then at 10 o'clock, she goes to bed. She's tired, but she's happy. And tomorrow is again a new day. So I think I got most of that correct. If I didn't, please feel free to put it down in the comments. Correct me if I'm wrong on anything. Obviously, I want to learn. But just a little look at this. Obviously, that was the first little story that it gave me after I asked. But just to show as an example, it gives me a word list with all the key verbs in there. And then it asks you a few questions. Now, the only thing I found with this, at the time I was using it on my phone, so perhaps it may be slightly different, but I answered the first question here. But when I answered it, it skipped past all these other questions, which I didn't see. So there's my response. Ana woont in Gorinchem. So what that meant was I actually missed out from question number 2. Wat eet Anne in de ochtend? What did Anna eat in the morning? Ochtend refers to the morning. Which is strange because if you say good morning in Dutch, you say goeiemorgen rather than goeieochtend, even though ochtend means the morning. If you say morgen, or if somebody says morgen to you, generally if they're saying it within a sentence, then they are referring to tomorrow, because morgen means tomorrow in Dutch. So yeah, that's just a little fun fact. But what did she eat in the morning? She ate brood met kaas, bread and cheese. Very, very Dutch. I like it a lot. I often have some sausage with mine, some leverworst or so on. But it's very tasty. Hoe gaat Anne naar het werk? How goes... Oh, my mouse is glitching. How goes Anne to her work? Met de trein, lopend, met de auto, met de fiets. Met de trein, I think that's self-explanatory. With the train, lopend, does she walk? Met de auto, or does she take the car? Or met de fiets? Well, met de fiets is the answer. Wat doet Anne na het werk? What does she do after her work? Ze kijkt televisie, ze slaapt, ze kookt pasta, ze speelt voetbal. She watches TV, she sleeps, she cooks pasta, and she plays football. Well, the answer was A, zij kijkt televisie, because she did, and C, zij kookt pasta, because she did. And then for this one, vertaal deze zinnen naar Engels. Say this. Vertaal. Not 100% sure what that is. But I know it's telling me to do it in English, these. Anna woont in een kleine huis. Anna lives in a small house. Ze werkt in een winkel. She works in a shop. Haar kat heet Minoes. Her cat is called Minoes. Ze kookt pasta met groenten. She cooks pasta with vegetables. Ze leest een boek en drinkt thee. She read a book and drinks tea or drank tea. I always get a little confused with the past tense when it comes to laced or drinked, adding the T on the end. That's something that I do struggle with a bit. So if you can say that in the comments, let me know. I'd love to find out. Oh, here's the answers. I didn't realise the answers were there. But yeah, that's a general overview of how this works. It is really good. I find it very, very practical, very, very helpful. If you do get stuck on a question, let me see if I can find where I asked a question I was a little stuck on. There, here we go. There. In here, I use the word duidelijk. So, here my response, I didn't know what duidelijk meant in English. So, after asking the question, I get the response. I don't only get a response, but I get an example, or a few examples in this case. And I get practice sessions, or, practice with it. So yeah, I really rate this at the moment. I think it's really good. And I'm gonna keep practicing, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed the videos. Tot ziens. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe, and leave a comment as well. And I will see you in the next one.